I am playing Jojo's Bizarre Adventure on PlayStation 3. The game has not been released yet. It's going to come out on April the 25th in Europe, and I think it's the 29th in the United States of America. This game is freaking awesome, and I have to say it's a lot of fun to play. But today what I've got for you guys is story mode, because actually you can do story mode with about 6 different characters, and you also unlock characters as well, so there's incentive to do story mode within the game. So today I'm going to do story mode with Jojo's Bizarre Adventures hero Jonathan Joestar. Now unfortunately the game's in Japanese. I know a lot of people don't understand Japanese, but like I said, the game's not been released in Europe until the 25th. So what I'm going to do is, I've not really done much research on Jojo's Bizarre Adventure. I mean, the first time I got exposed to it was when I was in the Comic-Con in Birmingham in 2014, like a month ago or so. Less than a month ago I was in Birmingham, and there was 2 like machines there with Namco written on it, and it said Jojo Bizarre Adventure, and I went over and I was like, yo, this is a pretty decent game, because I love fighting games. If you guys know me, if you follow my channel, you know I'm a big Naruto and also beat 'em up like fighting game freak. I love them sort of stuff. I love Killer Instinct, Street Fighter, and I've never in my life played Jojo's Bizarre Adventure, so I thought this was an ideal moment for me to get the game and play it. I played it at Comic-Con, and I have to say I really enjoyed it, because I actually had a match as well with one of the Namco Bandai workers. It's on my channel. It was a really good match I had with him. He won. He was Dio Brando, the villain, and I was playing with the hero Jonathan Joestar. And what I want to do is go a bit over the plot line, a bit of the storyline that I've been reading for myself, because I am quite interested in this anime / manga. So for like the kind of stuff that I know about the anime / manga is that Jonathan Joestar is this really wealthy person living under his father George. Now George has this huge like massive villa, like a palace he's living in, and all I know is Dio Brando, he is the freaking main villain within the storyline. He's like this sort of vampire kind of guy, and he's one of the best villains apparently. That was according to Foreverworld. I read one of his story sort of review on Jojo's Bizarre Adventure. I've not really heard about it. So the storyline is the story begins in England in 1880 with young Jonathan Joestar living at his father's place, and his father's called George, and George is a really rich guy, and they're living with this other guy as well called Dio Brando, who's the villain I've been talking about. He's basically been adopted by his father to live with him and stuff like that, because his father, Dio Brando's father, who was called Dio Brando, has died unfortunately, and George believed that he and his infant son were rescued by Dario during a stagecoach accident. So he's trying to repay him back by looking after his son, because he's dead, and he's an orphan. Dio Brando's an orphan, and he wants to look after him, according to Wikipedia that I'm reading off at the moment. So what actually is going on though is Jonathan Joestar actually tries to be friends with Dio Brando. However, unaware of his plans to drive him into discredit and earn George's trust so that he can become the sole heir to the Joestar fortune. So what actually is going to happen right now is, even though Dio Brando's been adopted and they want to treat him like a son, he's actually trying to get Jonathan Joestar out of the picture, and so he can inherit all the fortune and stuff. And what he does to Jonathan Joestar is really bad as well, because if I keep reading on, it says that he tries to torment Jonathan. Dio violently beats him up in a boxing match, turns his friends against him, steals his girlfriend Irina, and also what he does is burns Jonathan Joestar's dog, which was called Danny, and he incinerates him. He just completely kills him. And presenting himself before Jonathan's father as a better gentleman and a student that his adoptive brother. So he's actually trying to impress his father so he can try to take over the take over the mansion after him, but really he's a villain, and he's causing all kinds of riots within the Joestar family. And what he wants is ideally the fortune behind George, which is Jonathan Joestar's father. However, I keep reading on, and it says like 7 years later, George falls ill, and Jonathan Joestar becomes suspicious that maybe Dio Brando has poisoned his father or some sort of things, and he's even wrote a letter on his bed and stuff like that. And George is in bad condition at the moment, and Dio Brando says it's an ideal opportunity to take the fortune and stuff like that. However, Jonathan Joestar is not gonna let that happen so easily. So that's what I've read so far. I've not really read any much, and it looks like it's quite a complex story, but I will definitely get down to it and stuff like that, start reading this anime and manga, because it really looks like it's a good one. Please let me know if you guys like Jonathan Joestar. Do you like this anime? I mean, I'm completely new to it. I'm trying to skim read the storyline behind it. So what's going to happen is Jonathan Joestar is going to do everything in his hands to sort of defeat Dio Brando. After all, look at the things he's trying to do. He's trying to take his father's fortunes. He's burnt his dog, took his girlfriend. He's done all kinds of bad things to Jonathan Joestar. So I just say Jonathan Joestar as the hero, and obviously the villain be Dio Brando. But anyway, let me know what you guys think about this game, because I tell you something, man, it's freaking awesome. And it's not them kind of games that's it's not really that hard to play. I mean, if you hold square, if you press square 7-8 times, he does it sort of like a 10 to 28 combo each character does, and every single character's moves are very similar. And to do an ultra, you just press L1. And however, you can only do ultra when you got 2 bars. It's like 2 bars below. You can see bars below the screen, and you need to have 2 full bars before you do your ultra combo. And I have to say, this game really does look fantastic when you do your ultra, and it's something new. Really is. It's awesome. I really liked it. I liked it straight away. I was like, I want this game. There's something down here about a mask, so it looks like there's quite a lot of sort of, it's quite crazy. This Jojo stars Jonathan. So it says here, Jonathan Joestar is the main protagonist of this arc. Nicknamed Jojo for short, he is the son of George Joestar, whose life turns into misery when Dio enters the household after his father is killed by the vampirified Dio. Jonathan comes to learn the power of the ripple. From Zeppeli? Wow, what's the ripple of Zeppeli? Well, definitely something I need to look into before obviously talking. Dio Brando, the antagonist of this arc. Antagonist, basically, the opposite, the anti-hero, whatever you want to call it. The son of Dio Brando, he becomes a member of the Joestar household with the intent of inheriting for himself, when ultimately fails after Jonathan catches him in the act. He uses the stone mask to transform himself into a vampire named Ronnie Gio Dario and Marlon Brando's. Wow. Right, Marlon Brando's, isn't he an actor? He's the guy who plays Don Vito Corleone in Godfather, isn't it? But anyway, so it looks like he uses some sort of mask. It's actually called the stone mask to transform himself. That's something that Dio Brando uses. George Joestar. George Joestar is Jonathan's father. He lost his wife in a carriage accident where he met Dio Brando. After Dario's death, Dio went to live with George and Jonathan at the Joestar estate because George thinks Dio saved his life, so he takes in Dio as thanks, when in actuality George knew this was not true, but still took Dio in. 8 years later, George falls ill from unknown causes. After Jonathan returned from Augury Street, Dio attacked Jonathan with a knife, which George blocked and got stabbed in the back. George's blood lands on Dio, who is wearing the stone mask, turning Dio into a vampire. Right, okay. Danny is Jonathan's pet dog, bought by his father while still a puppy. when Jonathan was 5 years old. Jonathan and Danny didn't get along for a while, which caused Danny to bite Jonathan. Jonathan in turn attacked Danny by throwing stones at him. One day while swimming in a river, Jonathan started drowning and was saved by Danny, which made them the best of friends. When Dio arrived, he kneed Danny in the jaw and later put him into a box, planning to incinerate the dog. Danny was burnt to death and buried in the backyard of the Joestar estate. Irina Pendleton. Irina Pendleton first appears as a small girl, with Jonathan rescuing her from bullies. When she appeared again, she and Jonathan are dating and eventually fall in love. However, after Dio forcefully seizes, kisses and then brutally beats her, she is humiliated and stays away from Jonathan for a long time. She did not appear again until Dio's first near defeat, when she nursed Jonathan back to health. After Jonathan finally defeated Dio using the Ripple, they subsequently renewed their relationship and got married. They took a ship to go to their honeymoon to America, but the voyage was cut short by the appearance of Dio. When the ship sinks, Jonathan stays behind, trying to kill Dio. Irina saves an orphaned infant and escapes. Years later, she and her grandson, Joseph Joestar, are the last of the Joestar family, and they travel to New York on the invitation of Speedwagon, which sets off the events of the second story arc, Battle Tendency. Cool, man. Trying to read about all these characters is quite good, man. But anyway, I'm going to leave the video right there. There's so much reading for you guys to do. I mean, for me to do as well, to learn about a bit more about the story, because it's really exciting. But thank you very much for watching this. Peace out.
ディオは谷底に落下し散滅したかに見えた。だがディオは首だけとなってなお生きていた。エリナと結婚したジョナサンはハネムーンへと旅立つが、ディオは彼のボディを奪うためその船を強襲する。ディオの不意打ちによって喉をしかし
この先に物語があるわよ。